Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. We're having a great day. Today we are in the UK, right next to the McLaren factory, staying at a very nice hotel for the Goodwood Festival of Speed. And, well, we have available to us a Heritage Fleet 675LT. This is the one McLaren that has been extremely elusive to me because I've had the chance to test out the 765LT, and then we own the 600LT. I have never had the chance to drive a 675LT. This came out before my car, which is the Sport Series Longtail, and looking at it, I just think this vehicle is extremely timeless. There's something very special about this car. Let me show you right now. Walking all the way to the driver's side, it looks pretty normal, right? Very standard from my point of view, being from America. You have a steering wheel on the left side of the car, but we're gonna be driving a left-hand drive McLaren on streets that you drive on the left side. Therefore, opposite cars will be coming from my passenger side. It's gonna feel very weird, but I can't wait. What McLaren engineered here with their first long tail entry in their lineup is that they created a technology supercar. I've heard so many good things, and I'm curious, does it really live up to the hype? And now that we have the 765LT out and all these future cars, how much have they changed over all the years? One thing I really do miss is seeing the engine under a piece of glass. That's a nice touch, and even this being a convertible, you can still see the engine. I love one aspect about it. The active rear spoiler is massive. While driving, it's gonna adjust to give us an air brake or increase the rear end downforce. Lastly, this does have the hydraulic link suspension, something that my 600LT did not have. It was only available for the Supra Series vehicles, which this is, and mine was under the Sport Series. Let's go ahead and open up the door and take it out for a drive. I remember this, dating back to this generation of McLarens. The doors kind of come out more like a butterfly and more to the left. You have to bend more to the right and get over the door sill below. This shows right here, limited to just 500 cars, making it more rare than a 765LT and a majority of other series production cars. All right, here we go, closing up the 675LT. Let's hit the on button right here in the center and listen to the 3.8 liter V8. Is it as raw and as much of a driver's car as everyone tells me it is? I can only go off of other people's opinions so far until I drive it myself, and today I finally have the chance. Yeah! Oh my gosh! It gives the LT crack! The pop and crack on the upshift. Right away, getting in this car, all I can feel is how the steering response with the hydraulic, the electro-hydraulic steering wheel, it's light, but in a way that you have substantial just feel of those front tires, or the rubber. It feels just like the best of what we find out of the 765 and the 600 on the steering. And then having the hydraulic suspension, it's extremely smooth, even in sport mode. Do you see me bouncing around at all? I'm not. I'm actually very stunned. It's just lively. The whole car feels light. This is what I'm talking about. Many cars, they try to engineer with software that feedback of having a track car with maybe super stiff steering that, yeah, it makes you feel like you gotta put effort in and the car responds, but it doesn't give you the sense of lightweight. The car doesn't have to create software tuning to make the car feel like a track car. It just has to give you the natural responses and emotion that you need. Having that spoil up at all times. It's so lively. Okay, time to put up the top because we're getting a little bit of rain coming down. It's not as fast with the older gen products, I will be honest. But that's kind of part of the gimmicky fun of it all, isn't it? every single gear change, it's actually not that bad to drive on the left side of the road in a left-hand drive car, because it's comforting to me because I'm driving like how I usually drive. What I am finding with it is that the performance of the car doesn't feel like a vehicle that's going to be 10 years old in a handful of years, because a lot of cars now, they've tuned out all this feedback where it's not really about you learning how to get fast and trusting all the mechanical bits of the vehicle. It all blends together where there's computer systems trying to tell you what to do and compensate in so many ways. The mindset of a supercar just drives you, it doesn't really apply to a car like this, because I can tell that it's playful and all the feedback it's giving me isn't suppressed too much by the electronics. Some cars, they use all the modern day technology and driver aids to give you the sense of having a track car. For example, having a very stiff steering wheel or having too stiff of a suspension setup. It's not really about that. I think a true driver or performance car enthusiast will know the second they get into a properly focused performance car what it really means. The steering is just like the 600LT in this car. It really is. However, you do have the active aerodynamics, which will help you big time for high speed. For being a high-tech supercar, it feels weirdly analog. I think this is the car that started it all. This came from an era where McLaren was a brand new automaker on the block. Yes, they made the F1 years back, but this is a whole new ballgame, a whole new world. And what really goes into that? Well, you have the established Italian automakers making, what cars did they have back in the day? The 458 Italia? The Huracan just came out. None of them really gave you a vehicle that performed as well as it looked when it comes to going on the racetrack. The steering rack from this car, the sense of purpose when you hit the gas pedal or touch the brake pedal has all been translated to the 765 and all of the modern high performance variants. And I think weight is what makes these kinds of cars unlike anything else on the market. Wow! Now, one thing I am noticing is that this car is the worst turning radius of any McLaren I've ever driven. What I'm getting at is this car makes you enjoy being a driver, which is something that many cars tend to make numb. That's gonna wrap up my time with the 675LT. To sum it up, I can feel the energy of where McLaren is going now with the 765LT and the 600LT. It all came from this car right beside me. It's all about trying to give you the driver's feedback and emotion needed. If you love driving, this is a pure pleasure of doing so, I would take this over a lot of modern day supercars because they're not focused. A lot of them get compromised trying to be the best all-around vehicle for every occasion. This is all about one thing. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see all of you in the next episode.